most of the time they are being evaluated, right? They're competing for the good job. That's their experience, right? When they do something, it's always looking up the parent, whoever's raising them, whoever's around. It's like, did I do it right? Is it okay? Did I do a good job? Yes, good job. Next thing, did I do it right? Oh no, you messed that up. You got to, oh, okay. Like that's their experience. It's, did I do it well? Yes or no? Please, I want to do it well so you like me more. That's their reality. And in most activities that they do, that's the measure of success. It's how well they do it. But not with play. That's the one activity where there is no measure of success. There is no did I do it well. It's the one thing that you really cannot mess up. And there's such a freedom in that. It gives them the opportunity to just be, right? To express themselves, to create and not worry about the did you do it right? Not have to worry about someone looking over their shoulder judging. It's a judgment-free zone. Now, what this means for you as a parent is hold back from praise and judgment, both during play. During play, this is what I personally do, it's not a time to correct them on anything. Meaning, it's not like, okay, we're playing, like, as an example, I was playing Legos with my daughter, and we were following the instructions for a while. Okay, I actually got this massive Star Wars Millennium Falcon with like over 7,000 pieces. And she's helping me with that. We're inching away. So we were at first starting to follow the manual. And after a while, we took a break and there's all the extra pieces that are out. And she just started building her own things. Now, what would a serious parent do? Ha ha ha, no. That's not what the manual says, young lady. No. You can't improvise. You are playing wrong. You're doing it wrong. As opposed to no. That's play. Now, as an adult, if you're really into Legos and you're like, well, that's blasphemy. You must follow the instructions. Then don't do it with your kids. If you want to do it with your kids, no. During that time, it's judgment-free, including praise. It's not like you're playing, like say I'm playing figurines with, again, my kids. And I'm like, oh, good job doing that with your character. Good job. None of that. No good job, no judgment, no correcting, just flowing. Just this pure state of freedom. And what it does for them is it also allows them to practice making decisions from the inside, where instead of worrying, does my decision get praise or approval, disapproval? Or what will people think? It's what do I think? It ultimately allows them to start, again, drawing state from within. The same as I talked about in the previous episode, asking them, how do you feel about it before jumping to the praise? It brings their point of orientation within. Same with play, right? They're playing and it's like, okay, I have two characters. They could go right, they could go left. What's the choice? Well, because it's judgment-free zone, they can practice making their own choices. It comes from them. It's from within. And then they can practice producing play versus consuming, right? But it's very important to, and this is in my opinion, withhold praise and withhold judgment. And realize that play isn't this surface level thing. We tend to view it that way, right? Oh, you're just playing. Oh, that's the easy part. Or, oh, it's just play. It's not that important. It's very important. Once more, what I talked about here, but also it allows you to truly connect with them, to ultimately be in tune with them. And once more, with play, you got to start thinking more emotionally, less logically. Because logically, you're like, well, no, the way I connect with them is I ask them questions and I get information. We have deep logical talks. Yeah, that's at one level. But there's another level where what are you ultimately doing when you're playing, right? Say I'm playing figurines with my daughters. Well, what are we doing? We are ultimately creating a shared reality. That's what we're doing. That's what happens when you play and you use your imagination. It's me and say my daughter, right, my eldest daughter, and we are connected. And together, we're living in this shared imaginary reality. and we're massively in sync with each other, in sync with the stories, the characters talking to each other, where the overall plot is going. We are improvising off each other, we're pinging off each other, and you got to be massively in tune with the other person to do that. The same with when you vibe with other adults, when you're truly in that zone. And when you're really vibing, by the way, you're outside of your head. It's like time flies by. You are just in sync. You are joking. Everything you're saying, just building. You're creating a shared reality. And I mean, what more could you want when it comes to connecting with another person, right? It's one of the best relationship builders, in my opinion. And it requires a lot of social intelligence. You got to be able to really connect with the other person, put yourself in their shoes, not just go by your agenda, right? And you'll see this with some children who don't have this ability, who perhaps don't play much, or not in that sense, right? Their play is either consuming play or doing different tasks, like let's bake something, let's make a project, let's do a painting thing where you will be graded at the end. No. If it's really this kind of free play, they have the chance to practice it. But yeah, if you see a kid who can't do this with others, right? Like they'll play together and it's like, no, it's my way. They're just not in sync with the other person. In my opinion, that's not too good. That's a lack of social intelligence, right? To really play, you got to go into their world, connect with their world, get in tune with their interests. And it's something that you practice. It's something that you learn, right? For myself, in terms of my own journey as a person, I had massive anxiety, by the way, growing up. A lot of social anxiety. I was always judging and filtering myself, and I had to learn how to vibe. This is before having kids. I had to learn how to vibe, and it's something that you can learn. You can practice it. Same with your kids. It's a very important skill, or ultimately way of being, that play allows them to practice. And this takes things a layer deeper, which is in order to play, you must feel safe. The same with vibing in terms of adults. You must feel safe. I'm sure you've experienced it where you're talking to someone and perhaps you're a little anxious. I remember myself back in the day, extremely anxious. I never felt safe. If I was talking to someone, I was in my head and the whole time I was thinking, what do they think of me? Did I say the right thing? Is this interesting enough? Am I boring them? Am I saying too much? Am I not saying enough? Oh my God. That is going to stifle you and stifle that flow and stifle the vibe and stifle ultimately the play. So in order to play, you must feel safe. You can't be in your head. You can't be micromanaging. When you feel safe, you also have access to all of your faculties, and those are needed. I'm sure you've had this experience where you might talk to someone who you believe is a bit outside of your league, whatever league that is, whether it's relationships, business, you name it. You place them above you, and in relation, you don't feel too confident, you don't feel too safe, and you have trouble flowing. Yet you talk to another person, right? You run out of things to say even. Yet you talk to another person where perhaps you consider yourself as being outside of their league, you never run out of things to say. That's what I'm talking about here. To play, you have to feel truly safe. Now, if you have trouble playing with your kids, it can be beneficial to ask yourself, why don't I feel safe in this moment? What is blocking me? If you can't play, something's blocking you. You got to identify it and then let go of it. But it's a good question to ask. What's blocking me? No, I can't vibe with this person right now. What's blocking me? It's also why it's very important to work on your own self-confidence. The more confident you feel within, the more safe you feel, and the easier it is to have access to those faculties and just flow, as opposed to being stuck in protection mode. And with your kids too, when you see the playfulness come out, it can be beneficial to ask yourself, well, what's making them feel safe in this moment? You'll learn more about them. You'll also see when they have trouble playing or they don't want to play, what is perhaps not making them feel safe in this moment. But in order to play, you have to feel safe.